Hey there guys, and welcome to episode 22 of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Randomizer Series 2, the Key Sanity series, and we are finally back in the Forest Temple after quite a long time of not being here because we didn't have enough keys. I did have a key for quite some time, but I needed to have two of them in order to proceed further, and I just did not think that there was any point in using the key that I already had, since I knew that I wasn't going to be able to get very far otherwise, unless I had the other key. And it was in Ganon's castle of all places. And I was quite certain, in case you haven't seen the previous episode, I was quite certain that I had set it to where Ganon's castle required us to get all 6 medallions in order to open up. But I only needed to get the Shadow and Spirit medallion, as it goes off of how it works in the base game, where it looks to see if you have the Shadow medallion and the Spirit medallion. Because although story-wise, you need to get all 6 of the medallions in order to get to Ganon's castle, the way the game works is that, well, the way the game works, I'm gonna bring this guy up here for later. The way that works is that the game only checks for the Shadow and Spirit medallion, because you normally would not have the rest of the medallions before getting either both the Shadow or Spirit medallion. Although it is actually possible to get the Spirit medallion before getting the Shadow medallion. Well, yeah, the Shadow medallion, but what I was going to say was get it before the Fire medallion. But of course, obviously, however it works, you need to have gotten at least the Fire and Water medallions before it unlocks the Nocturne the Shadow. Because the way the game works in the base game is that after you have completed the Forest, Fire, and Water Temple, it unlocks the cutscene where you learn the Nocturne the Shadow, which you need in order to get into the Shadow Temple. Because you can't enter the Shadow Temple otherwise. Outside the glitches, I mean. I'm very much aware that people have found ways to get into the Shadow Temple using glitches without the Nocturne the Shadow. But based on how the game developers wanted you to play the game, you needed to get the first 3 temples finished before it would let you get the Nocturne the Shadow. So fortunately, the checks for Ganon's castle was based on that, based on how the game actually checks them. It just checks what it normally does and nothing else. Okay. So we're fighting against this Poe sister, who is named Amy. I think that there's actually some lore behind the origins of the Poe sisters. Like, their names come from a book. I don't know what book it is, but I've seen videos discussing about what their names reference. But I'm not too familiar with that. So now that we've gotten the first 3 Poe sisters beaten, we now have the last one, and that's Meg. I think that I may as well also talk about some update that has been going on with my life. I think I might have mentioned this a couple episodes ago, where I had mentioned something about my browser freezing at times, where I'm not able to click on any further links on my browser. I mean, I can close it, but it doesn't let me open a new one, and basically, a lot of things are limited when it goes into that state. Like, I could try to reboot the computer normally, but when I go into the reboot section and hit restart, nothing happens. So I just have to do a hard reset, which would be just pushing the on and off button until it turns off, and then turn it back on again. Now, I think that I got in my PC back in 2018. Prior to that, I was using a laptop. And the reason that I got a PC was because my laptop was not capable of playing games on Steam, such as Ukulele and Gary's Mod. And I actually had this discussion with my parents on the day that I am recording this episode about that. And they said something about laptops becoming more advanced as time goes on, or over the years since I've gotten my PC. That there's hardly anyone that uses PCs anymore. And that basically everyone is now using laptops. And I think that there could actually be some laptops that are now very strong and can hold a lot of memory in order for games such as Gary's Mod and Ukulele, or any games on Steam, to be playable on them. Now, of course, I've also had a bit of concerns in regards to the browsers that I am using. Although my parents do not think that what browser I am using even affects what my computer is doing. And I don't know if I've mentioned this in an earlier episode, or if you've heard me mention this elsewhere, but I was having some login issues on my DeviantArt account, which I think that the solution was to clear my cookies and cache, which I did try to do because it worked before, but it didn't work this time, so I had to revert to using Chrome in order to log in. Seriously, that is twice I ended up missing him. Now, I think that I had told them about how I was also having the same issue with logging in on my laptop downstairs. Because apparently the issue happens on both my desktop and laptop. Even though they're two completely separate computers, the same issue applies to my laptop downstairs. And I asked them about maybe trying to clear the cookies on the laptop as well, even though I didn't need to before. Because by clearing my cookies on my main computer, that fixed the issue on all computers. I'm not sure if I need to do that this time. I haven't tried it, but maybe at some point I will try it to see if that works. And with one jump slash, the Phantom King is dead. Or banished to the Shadow Realm.
No.
And we get arrows for that. Okay, so we're gonna get either the Forest Medallion or the Fire Medallion. I think it's gonna be the Forest Medallion, even though that is what you get in regular Ocarina of Time in this dungeon. Yep, the Forest Medallion, totally in the same spot as where it was originally. Alright, so we got all that done. Now, something I don't quite understand is that I think I remember one time going into the Forest Temple again and entering the boss room where I fought Phantom Ganon. Also gonna save the game just in case my emulator crashes. Is that I remember going into the Forest Temple again after I beaten the boss and I entered the warp to exit the boss room. And I ended up back at the outside of the Forest Temple, not in the Deku Tree Meadow, although I could be remembering wrong. I'm just going on ahead and stocking up since I do have a full wallet. I mean, I think that it's probably for the best I use Google Chrome instead of Firefox. But what do you guys recommend? It's just that I don't want to have the same issues with trying to log in and out of my DeviantArt account again. Though there are some people that actually can relate to that. I've also just realized that I only am able to carry 30 bombs, and it's possible for me to get a upgrade to go to 40 bombs, but I have not found that. And I know that now that I have the Forest Medallion, I can get another prize from the Temple of Time. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quickly before we head off to the Spirit Temple. I was thinking that we might actually have to do the Forest Temple and the Spirit Temple in separate episodes. Oh, another key for the Gerudo Training Ground. Did we ever finish with the Gerudo Training Grounds? Come to think of it, I don't think we did. Did we? I don't remember, at least. But I know that you don't need to get all of the keys in order to get all of the prizes. But I think that I will go ahead and check that out anyway. Well, the chest is closed, so that means that we could have a chance at getting this. Now, while I'm going through here, I may as well mention about a bit of a further discussion that my dad had said in regards to my computer. He says that if my desktop just suddenly dies out, the files are still recoverable and that I can still get them. I'm just remembering a time back in 2014 where I had an external hard drive that just ended up not working anymore. All that work for an ice trap? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay. Now onto the Spirit Temple. This here is a little post-commentary. When I arrived back at the Spirit Temple, I realized that there was one key that I was missing, so I needed to go around and look for it. I eventually made my way to Gerudo Valley to check this crate right here. Aha! Here it is! Alright, onto the Spirit Temple we go. I've made it all the way to the next locked door here. A timely placed puzzle where I need to time my movements carefully. Or, you know, hook shot. No! I hit the wrong button. I meant to get the bombs out, but I hit the button for the hook shot by mistake. I hate it when I hit the wrong button. I'm gonna get out the Maganon hammer for this. Pretty sure that we already have the boss key. So, whatever is in that chest, it'll probably just be a junk item. But I'm gonna get it anyway. Because that's what I do here. It's the compass for the forest temple. We were just there! Wow, did I just break that pot by swinging my sword, or did it just not get me because I was in a cutscene? It makes the wrong noise, since normally it would mean that we have not done it. That was all of the heart pieces! We got all of the heart pieces in the game. You know, I see that there are these white bubbles here, and I think I remember that when I was first playing this game, like the original game on the Nintendo 64, is that I remember being in that room and the game then crashed. And from how I remember it, I think the crash happened randomly. But I think that what actually happened was that I used Din's Fire, and that caused the game to crash, because, yeah, if you do use Din's Fire on the blue or the white bubbles, it does cause the game to crash. Although I could have sworn that the crash just happened randomly. But I could have just used Din's Fire in that room and just don't remember. And now we crush the face of the statue. They have to equip the long shot again. Oh, and now we are fighting Iron Knuckle Naburu. Oh, darn, I had the shield ready, but I got hit anyway. And not that it would have helped very much. I'm probably not gonna use very many rupees anyway. Yeah, since if the Iron Knuckle happens to break the pillar when I'm low on health, parts will come out of the pillar, but rupees will come out if I have full health. Wow, that was strange. I was kind of worried that the game might have soft-locked for a moment. Oh, I thought the game crashed for a second because it just briefly froze. Alright, and now we are fighting the witches. Although what's kind of funny is that I've been watching a, what? You overshot that! I've been watching a series of videos that kind of tells the story of Banjo-Tooie in movie form. You know, just kind of adapting the game's story into a movie. And as of this video's recording, the most recent installment of that, she did not even come into my range. You overshot it! Oh, I just walked into that. Didn't get into range again. she got into range that time. Anyway, in that movie, these witches, Kume and Kotake, or Kotake, as I've always pronounced her name, they filled the roles of Minjella and Blobelda. I guess because actual models of Minjella and Blobelda don't exist in Source Filmmaker. You know, I've been hitting Kume quite a lot during this fight, but Kotake I barely hit. Okay, well I hit Kotake now. Oh, and this is the moment in which they merge. And I just found that interesting how Kume and Kotake become Minjella and Blobelda in that Banjo-Tooie movie. And how that worked is that in the episode that just came out, is we're at the point where Banjo and Kazooie make their way to Grunty and are in the Tower of Tragedy quiz section of the game. And it's actually being broadcast on TV. And even Tootie is watching it. Alright, ice attack. Two ice attacks. Oh, that's one fire attack, but we need an ice attack. And there we go, she is beaten. I was kind of wondering if she was going to do that whole thing where she sent me the wrong attack 8 times in a row. Because that has happened before when I've been fighting this boss, and I think that's also happened to a couple other people. Oh, Ganondorf's fight music is playing for Kume and Kotake. And they head off into heaven, and they vow to come back to haunt me by glitching the screen with a bunch of hearts. Yeah, I saw a video where it's possible to get multiple different hearts, and they kind of glitch the file selection screen. Alright, and with the Spirit Temple completed, we now get the final medallion of the game. And that's the Fire Medallion. Just as I suspected it would be. Okay. Well. At long last, we are nearly at the end of this playthrough. I think that we have just one more episode to do before this is all over with. Now, before I finish off this episode, I figured that I may as well get a couple of the other checks. I've been recording this for like over 30 minutes at this point, practically maybe 40 minutes. Yeah, 40 minutes actually. And this business scrub happens to have something for us. And it's the Big Goron Sword. Yep, we finally have it. And I think that I will actually go ahead and check a couple of the other things that we have not gotten. Well, actually, I think I may save that for possibly the next episode. One other thing that we do not have, real quickly, would be basically the biggest bomb bag and the fourth bottle. And we also don't have the trade side quest items, but I don't think that matters because we already got the big Goron sword. Or maybe, you know what? I think that the trade side quest might be the key to getting either the bomb bag or the fourth bottle. We've got 96 Gold Skull Tula tokens, so that means that there are 4 left within the game. I'm not sure if I will bother to look for those or just get to the end of the game. So thank you so much for watching this, and in the next episode, that should be the finale. I should be all done with this after the next episode. So thank you all for watching this, and I will see you next time.